the Offcast, plunging you into the future, where verse meets meta, where meta meets verse, where gamers meet devs, where devs meet games. Your direct access to the future right here, right now. Where verse meets meta, where meta meets verse, where gamers meet devs, where devs meet games. Your direct access to the future right here, right now.
Oh, was it ended? Oops, I think it ended. I was dancing away. I didn't notice. I had a little rave, a little silent
You
rave.
got the moves, that's for sure.
Big fish, little fish, cardboard box. Big fish, little fish, cardboard box. 90s girl in the club. Actually, no, I never raved. I was more of a cheesy, bopping away girl. No?
I can believe it.
Yes.
Yes.
Right, it is Thursday, the 27th of February 2005. It is 4 o'clock in the afternoon here in the UK, 5 o'clock where San is, and somewhere where your time, wherever you are. Welcome to this week's Devcast. Hey everybody. We've got a few bits and bobs to talk about this week. Nothing specific, but nothing very general either. We thought might do a little bit of a throwback at some point, have a little chat about some good old days, some good old stuff, and also some brand new stuff that we've got in the pipeline as well. So a bit of pick and mix for you to get your teeth into and hopefully get those creative juices flowing. San, how are you this week?
I'm awesome, thank you. As you can tell, I put a wig on, and that was the comment you gave earlier. You're wearing a wig.
Well, he's flattened it down now. It was kind of all poofed up a bit when he first signed on, and I did wonder. I mean, it's the kind of thing he'd do. Is it? Yeah?
It is.
See? So I wasn't completely nuts.
But yeah, no, I'm good. Everything else is good. The weather's starting to hot up here, and somebody went in the pool yesterday. So,
ooh.
yeah.
Nice.
It came out very quick.
Yeah, spring is in the air, as my eyes can tell. I'm getting that early hay fever itch of the tree pollen, where I've got to get the drops out soon. I can always tell when spring is near. So that's joyful. If I'm rubbing away in my eyes, that will be why. But lovely afternoon here. So what shall we start with?
I think we should first talk about the fact that you were gone last week and all mayhem reigned. It was awesome. The boys went crazy. We did nothing. We just basically had a rave all week long, and now we're exhausted and catching up. We did some cool work while you were gone. We did something. I can't remember what. We did something.
I came back on Monday. I was like, right, I'm back. What's going on? Silence. So I don't know if they...
It's called the rave hangover.
While the cat's away, the mice will play.
Exactly.
Yeah, I had a great time skiing away. Skiing on the slopes, which is lovely stuff. Now I'm a bit broken and full of cheese.
That's what it should be.
It's the French way, isn't it? I love the way that the one nationality can find so many different ways to eat cheese and ham.
Yes.
I mean, sandwiches and omelettes and toasties and crepes and just cheese and just melted cheese, toasted cheese, fried cheese. It's just so much.
But it's a little bit like the British with chips, isn't it? Fish and chips, sausage and chips, pie and chips.
Chips are more of an accompaniment, though, I guess. But just lots and lots of crepes and cheese and yumminess, which is great. So on with the show. So I reckon we should start with a little bit of a little tease, a little sneak peek of something that I have been working on. It's a new storefront template. Now I know what you're thinking. After last year's glut of storefronts, you're thinking, oh, we can't do any more storefronts. There's too many storefronts. And yes, there are lots of them, but it's the gift that keeps on giving. This is a very special one that I'm working on. It's still in the development process, but all of you who are lucky residents of my workshop will be able to see a preview as of today. So do head over to the workshop, and what you'll see is a storefront which is part of the standard series. So the standard series is your basic set, not many frills and thrifts, but your basic kind of starter set, which goes along with the standard and the slim line. And the working title is Sublevel or Substreet or Subterranean, which gives it away
I think
completely.
sub-level is good.
It is an underground storefront. This is designed completely to help with those cases where pavement clipping is an issue. It is still in the testing process. It is still in the pipeline, but this first prototype looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. So the idea will be that once you go down beneath those pavements, they can't clip in anymore. You see, it's great. So yeah, this will hopefully, if all tests go well and it's working out, be ready in the next few weeks. I've got a little, where have I put it? Somewhere I've got a little, there we go, a little sneak peek of it. So this is a view from the editor, so it's why it looks a little bit weird and hanging in the middle of nowhere. But what you can see there is on the right hand side, a little kind of entrance lobby. You'll go in that, which will be at ground level, which is after the doorway off the street. Then you'll go down some steps, and the body of the storefront is down beneath ground
So we've
level.
seen some of the other storefronts a little bit like that in the past, haven't we? We have seen some that are sort of reminiscent of this.
Yeah, anyone with a keen eye and any concept of reusing past assets will recognise in this the comedy store. So I had taken that base template and repurposed it for this use, which seemed like it would fit pretty well. So you've got all your basic storefront amenities in there. You've got your little desk, you've got your main screens, and because this is part of that same basic set, all the images will be interchangeable. So any of these three within that set, you switch between, all the images will be restored. And because I know you love it so much, it comes with that good old bespoke technology where you can customize the floors and the walls and the data rail and the skirting board to make it look absolutely awesome. So as I said,
Does that mean we're going to end up with Doc's snotty underground pit of
just
hell?
not the floor is lava, the floor is snot. It's what it is, a bubbling pool of snot. Probably.
Oh, wow.
Probably. But yes, that is coming along well. I was in there looking at it today. But yeah, head over to my workshop and take a peek if you are able. And on that note, just a reminder, because I know we said this before, about when purchasing storefronts, things to look out for to make sure that you don't need to have to resolve this issue. Now, obviously, if you have a storefront without clipping, you can still use this template. It's not restricted just to those cases. But hopefully, if we can help you from going forward to stop happening in the first place, then it won't be something that you're kind of forced to use. So what I'm going to do is pull up now the little infogram of storefront red flags. This same poster is over in the map room. So if you don't catch it now, do head over there or just pause the video to see. So things to look out for when you are picking a place, all you plot owners out there, when you want to stamp down a storefront, do pay attention to the to where you're putting it. Go into the map room, stand above the plot and look down for like that bird's eye view. The key thing is to look at the shape of the building. Now, obviously, when we design the roads, it's roughly a grid. But you're going to get those odd ones on the corners, those little odd triangular shaped buildings. They are a huge red flag for clipping issues. The template is square, the plot is corner shaped. It's like a little kid with those fitting blocks games trying to shove that square shape in the corner block. It won't go. Only in VR it does go, but you're going to get clipping. Yeah. So look out for triangular buildings, look out for very narrow buildings, narrow in either dimension, that's narrow width-wise or narrow depth-wise, again, to avoid those issues. And hilly terrain can, again, be a problem. So it just takes a little caution to look at where you're stamping down your plots to try and avoid those issues. Because once you've stamped, you can't unstamp it and you can't check it before you confirm. So there's some little tips.
You can't check the inside.
You can't check the inside.
There's clipping on the inside.
Yeah. But obviously you can see that shape of the building, and those are very big warning signs to look out for. Yeah, excited about this new storefront option. I've also got a few ideas of how to actually do some customized shop versions of it as well. Some little props and things in there to play around with. But yeah, hopefully within the next few weeks, this one should be ready for release. So pretty excited about that. Hope you guys are too.
I'm so excited. I can't wait.
You're welcome for the sun, the skis, and the sky. That was on the radio this morning. It's been in my head all day.
No. It's been in my head for about a decade.
I know a song that'll get on your nerves, get on your nerves, get on your nerves. I know a song that'll get on your nerves.
Cool. Well, I got something else that I want to talk about.
Okay, over to you, Sandster.
Yeah, so basically while you were gone, Ollie and I were discussing naming conventions. And so far, Ollie has come up with 5 different possible names for the components or the elements or the thingy-majiggies that are going to go together to make up the AI agents.
Backtrack a bit here. Backtrack a little bit.
I was just going to say, so...
You've kind of jumped in the middle of the story.
So we are in the process of developing cool AI agents you can customize. And we've got quite far with it since by the last week. We now have on the back end the ability to actually generate AI agents from components that are added, and those added components have properties. So you can, for example, generate a happy or sulky AI agent with backstory and interests, and those interests affect the persona, as does the speech style and a whole load of other things. So there's about 7 different elements, we were calling them, or modules, or components, or thingy-majiggies. And we have been fighting over that all week, and we still think
Is that literally what you've done all week when I wasn't here?
Pretty much. A little bit of work and then fighting about that. We've also been looking for stories and backstories to the avatars. So what sort of backstory do you want for your avatar? Let me know. Don't feel shy. Post in Discord. Give me the idea of the backstory. What sort of interests, what sort of backstory, what sort of personality traits do you want in your AI agent? Because I'll add those to the list of potential possibilities. But yeah, we have no idea what they're going to be called after about a week of discussing them and nailing them each day, being convinced we got it right. Next day, Ollie was like, nah, that's wrong. It's rubbish. And
So,
come up with a new one.
Yeah, to clarify this, just to add a little bit more padding out to the situation. Currently, we've got these amazing AI agents in the app, which you can tell them, you can pick your preset one that we designed for you and tell them what to say. And in that gives a huge range of variety. And we've got comedians, we've got jokers, we've got grumpy people in there already. But that's either all presets, off the shelf ones, with limited options, and you can choose to place them or not to place them. So what we're looking at now is taking this, several steps. It's not one step forward, several steps forward really, and go on full agent customization. So
we're calling it sort of a gamified agent customization, because it isn't exactly the sort of hard-coded customization you might find elsewhere, the boring stuff. This is the fun stuff.
Yeah, it's taking full use of the AI element in it and really working with it and the freedom that AI gives itself, if you like. What we found, certainly during test phases and working with the AI bots in app, if you try and restrict it too much and try and tell it too much what to do, then you get really shonky outcomes. It doesn't like it, and it's open to misinterpretation far too much. And what that simply does, it creates disappointment. Because when you're trying to create A and all you get is 69, it just doesn't work very well. So we've been looking at how to really work with the AI rather than force it into a box that it doesn't like to be in. Creates more of a fluid design. So what we've come up with is this way of, I guess, building blocks. Is that a good way of describing it?
I'd say it's sort of like
the ingredients.
Lego ingredients.
So like potions, sort of, like chemistry.
Potions,
when you mix together chemicals, you don't quite know what's going to come out at the other end, unless you're a qualified chemist. But those people aren't. Even then, a bit of this, a pinch of that, and a smatter of that.
A sprinkling of something else. And that's exactly the sort of thing that you want to go for, because there's 2 parts to it. But we've been thinking a lot about it. And when it comes to creating your own agent, the one thing that we did not want to do was have people create ones that were similar. So somebody create one and then somebody else copy them. And that would just feel a little bit dull, boring, uninteresting. And actually, probably narrow it down to a rare few that were any good and then a whole load that were rubbish. Instead, we thought, well, let's try and find a way so that everyone is unique, everyone is good, everyone is interesting. And because that's actually, that fluffiness is actually something that AI does really well, let's give that job to the AI, but let you guide it. So I would say it's a little bit more like guiding the customization, the creation of an AI agent, rather than defining exactly what you want, because defining exactly what you want, not everybody's good at. Even we are. We've been doing this now for months. We still find it hard to make a persona that stands out, that has the right elements. So in a sense, it's about being, or giving the AI the elements that you want your AI agent to have, and then saying, here, you know how to make it awesome. Make this awesome. And as a result, you'll end up with something that is unique, it is bespoke, it's pretty damn cool. I mean, I've been looking at the ones that we're generating just randomly, and it's easy to make and difficult to mess up. And I think that's one of the things, a little bit like with anything. You could give people bespoke, if we'd only given people bespoke rooms, we'd have a lot of very ugly rooms and a couple of absolutely beautiful ones. And by giving people bespoke ones on top of the custom ones, we're now in a situation where those people who really know how to make something look good can spend the time and effort to make something look good, but everybody else doesn't mess up. And I think that's sort of the attitude when it comes to this. Now, obviously, we know that people want to be able to create their own very, very, very bespoke ones, and we are looking at ways to allow for that to happen. But we don't want to make those tradable, and we don't want to make those the main core functionality for the mass market, because mass market really means you've got to dumb it down so that anybody can do it. If my grandmother can't do it, then it's not mass market.
So I think it's
and my grandmother's dead.
I think it's time for me to flash up on the screen a "just an idea, not a promise" slogan. How are we currently thinking people are going to get these crafting tools?
Yeah.
What are we thinking is going to be the flow of, okay, I want to make my agent. How do I give it a personality? How do I give it a backstory?
Yeah, so what we're thinking about doing is allowing people to find or buy packs of components or modules or whatever the word is that Ollie's high on today. And those packs will come out and you'll have different types of modules or components. So let's imagine that, for example, sex is a component. When I say sex, I mean gender.
Not do you want?
Yes, this one has rampant sex. This one only has it once a week. So
I absolutely. I think my mother was very, very ashamed. I'm not sure, shocked or panicked when I was about 14. I found this little quote in a magazine that I stuck on my wall. It says, "Sex is not the question. No, sex is not the answer. Sex is the question. Yes is the answer." She was horrified.
Chris, on the other hand, has kept those stuff and has it in the living room. I noticed. Yeah.
Yes. So gender.
Gender. Yeah. So if we take gender, it's a very simple example. Now, there's obviously only a couple of genders, or maybe a few more. We're not going to get into that area now, but there's a limited number. And the limited number of genders means that we can choose, you find one, and the gender that you find could be neutral, or it could be male, or it could be female, or it could be a billion other genders that we have yet to define. But imagine that you find that, and the object that you find, the component, has that in it. And a little bit, I think you've been looking at this quite heavily, the idea of having sort of these components as actual physical hard drive type things, or things we use that you can store a memory on, or memory stick, or some other element.
Yeah, I've been playing with some little designs here. So yes, the idea so rather than collect your ingredients or collect your potions, you collect storage devices. For example, we got a little external hard drive, we got a little flash drive, we got a little floppy disk, throw back there. Yes, the idea of these might be inventory items that when you, either from loot boxes or from vending machines, that you would purchase a floppy disk, and that floppy disk contains a speech pattern, or the hard drive contains a backstory, and you store those in your inventory. Again, I'm just going to pull up the not a promise, just an idea. You store it in inventory, and then as and when you're ready to craft, you can plug these storage devices into your bot. Again, we're not quite sure of how the mechanic of this might work, whether it's a physical plugging in, whether it's just a drag and drop or a point and click, some sort of thing, to then craft what your personalized, unique bot is gonna, or the ingredients that the AI is going to use to define your bot's personality.
Exactly. So imagine that you wanted to create a bot that was, or an AI agent that was similar to, I don't know, Brian Cox. Does anybody know who he is? I guess the English people do, but maybe
Brian Cox.
like you'd put a bit of astronomy in there as an interest. You'd put a male persona. You'd put a backstory of a TV presenter and a backstory maybe instead of actually a musician, because he used to actually be a musician, didn't he? And then you'd put in some other interests that were related to, I don't know, whatever, yes, chemistry or physics or Large Hadron Collider. And then you'd mix all of that up and you'd end up with an agent that understood astronomy, that understood, had an interest in the Large Hadron Collider, had a backstory of being a singer, and was a male guy. So therefore, that person would be very similar to Brian Cox in his personality. But then you could say, well, actually, this person's a little bit too serious. Brian Cox has a bit of sense of humor. So you can add humor or wittiness or cuteness or cuddliness or whatever it is as a trait to the agent, and you can update and tweak them so that you can make them more and more like the person that you want them to be or the agent you like them to be. Some of the things that we've been looking at are backstories that range, completely wild. I think the last check we had nearly 3,000 backstories of potential ones. We had hundreds of traits. We had hundreds of different interests, and all of these things are going to be quite exciting to see how they play out. And each one of them combined will generate a unique AI agent. And because of the way that we use AI to generate the agents, even if you put in the same elements, those same elements won't generate the same AI. They will be fluffily similar, but different. And then things like speech patterns.
So just to illustrate that, if anyone uses something like Midjourney, when you type in a prompt, it gives you 4 responses back based on identical prompts, identical background, but it has interpreted that in different ways to give you a different outcome every time. So that just illustrates how this is going to work, how the AI has its own X factor. It adds its own, we don't know what that is, to it to create that outcome every single time, that creates that uniqueness and that little the fun of not quite knowing as well.
Yeah, and knowing that yours is unique, yours is absolutely something that you've got, and therefore has value. So anyway, we're looking at that. That's going to be coming out hopefully soon. Can't give you the exact date, and as always, is just thoughts and dreams until it's delivered. We need to see how it works and plays before we actually lock in. But yeah, that's definitely in progress, and that is looking good. The other side of that is obviously to allow enterprise users to be able to create and customize their own. So if we do have an enterprise user or potentially business, we need to work that out, that wants to give a specific AI agent to their metaverse. And that metaverse is, I don't know, let's say Coca-Cola come in and they have a specific AI agent that they want that is defined by them. The idea would be to let them define that uniquely. So those are different areas we're getting into, but then those would not be tradable AI agents. Those would be the custom bots that were generated for a bespoke metaverse and were not possible to be shared around. So all of that's...
Yeah, as a reminder for how or what you're going to use these agents for. As we mentioned in previous episodes, we look at the idea of currently you can use agents obviously in any room within your metaverse, but we still very much like the idea of investigating how agents could be used out in the wild, out in the open on a plot. So when you're walking through the streets and you think, oh, I'm just going to summon an agent here, wherever that here is, depending on what street you're standing on and who owns that area, that will spawn that plot, that agent, and customized for that plot with the inputs that the owner has decided to give it. So these are ways we're thinking of really bringing these very much into the real world, into the outside, well, into the fake
The
virtual
wide- the
outside,
wider
the
Infiniverse.
wider Infiniverse at street level, rather than in just the rooms. And it's already been great. I just to reiterate, please do play with these paper clips, and give them a go, because they really are entertaining and interesting. And
we have dropped the price again. I think we mentioned that a couple of weeks ago, a week ago, something like that. The price went down. We are constantly innovating and looking at ways that we can make them cheaper. Like I said, the goal is that they shouldn't cost anything other than the subscription of the Metaverse owner. But until that comes down fully in price, the price is still there for the paperclips, but they are plummeting fast.
Yeah, and just some ideas of how you can use these, even if you want something that's just low key. Galleries remain one of the most popular uses of our templates. So shove a little agent there and tell it a bit about you, a bit about how you made the art, what your inspiration was, all the things that were you there in person. Visitors might want to find out. What's your background? What's your experience? Which is your favourite piece? Tell these agents this, and they can then share that with any visitor who turns up, even when you're not there. It adds that real extra level, because often I'm walking through galleries and I think these are great. Oh, what is that there? I didn't quite get that bit there. It seems a bit out of place. Or I don't actually know the user who made this gallery, and I'd really like to know more about them, but they're not there. And if there's no contact form been set up, then I can't give any more, glean any more information about it. So do think about ways you can really just use them at that basic level. Doesn't mean clever, doesn't need to be fancy. We do see some very fancy ones that have been really set up and really well designed and thought about for a long time. That's great if they've got time to do that. But if you don't, literally just even a prompt like welcome the person to this room, that's enough. So to reiterate, again, just to go back to the things we said before, the information these agents draw from. They draw from several sources of information. So even if you don't tell it to say anything, it knows which room it's in, it knows the owner of that room, and it knows the description of that room.
And it knows the metaverse it's in.
Metaverse. So even if you just put, say hello and tell people about the room, that simple sentence will give that AI agent enough prompt to be able to come up with all sorts of lovely, welcoming information based on the character and the one that you've chosen. So very quick to do, and then once you've done it for your metaverse, you just apply it to all the rooms. It filters down, so you don't need to do it every single room. You do it at metaverse level, and that then applies to every room within the metaverse. Bish bash bosh, Bob's your uncle.
So again, this mass market thing, do it once for the metaverse, do a very simple prompt, and it works across the whole metaverse. Or if you want to, you can go in and bespokely give individual prompts and topics for conversation in each individual room. So very powerful. The other thing that I want to mention, which is quite interesting, again, this one very much comes under the yet to be fully decided, no promises, just talking about stuff out loud. We are very heavily looking into how your agents that you create. So if you customly create one, not the ones that we give you, but the custom ones that you create and own and trade, that those can be used outside of Multiverse. This is something that is quite exciting. Yes. So imagine a scenario where you've got a Discord channel of your own. And imagine that you would like to have an AI agent in that Discord channel. And you've created an AI agent in Multiverse. The ability to be able to have that AI agent appear in your Discord, appear in your Twitter feed, appear in your Blue Sky app, appear on WhatsApp, appear in your Slack, appear on your web page. Any of those things are things that we're looking into enabling. So the idea is, in a sense, that by creating the AI agent, you are enabling your AI agent for a platform or a range of platforms across which this agent can have exposure. And that's something that is going to be even more powerful than anything you guys can imagine.
I mean, now that we've gone to PC, there's no stopping us. We've literally opened those gates for this true cross-platform experience. Obviously it's all a neat little segue there. We are on PC, if you hadn't realised that. go to the tutorials page, find out how to download it. There are some little feel like minefield little traps. If you press the wrong button, you will end up in an annoying cycle and not be able to get it. But once you found the way, it is very quick and easy. You will be access to amazing graphics, incredible scenery, awesome functionality, and the ability
and near limitless memory. So no
and no headache and resty nose ache and annoying goggle hair. Which we'll get. So do investigate the PC, the PC thing. And yeah, as San says, this is just the start of a really incredible opportunity for going full cross-platform with this AI.
Yeah. Exactly. Cool. Well, I think that was what I wanted to talk about on that end. Is there anything you wanted to mention? You mentioned a whole load of cool, wishy-washy stuff about storefronts and stuff, bespoke
wishy-washy stuff.
We talked about
no.
Oh yeah, no. Yeah, there was one more thing.
Okay.
Now, obviously, we've talked about the whole AI agent stuff. We talked about the components or the elements of the thingamajiggies you're going to be able to slot in and stop. But obviously, that will also come as a, what is it like, a thingamajiggy in front of a building?
Vending machine.
There we go. One of the
I didn't load up
booths.
the picture of that. I forgot to load up the preview. But yes, we're thinking there's going to be a new vending machine on the block to join its fellow brethren vending machines where you can purchase these components again. We will obviously announce everything when it's ready. Still in the pipeline.
But that one is much more likely to be able to give, what's it called? Shares to the owner. So the owner of the components will benefit from the component prices purchased.
It's a circular economy. Okay, so just a quick note about the events we've got coming up over the next 4 days or so. Tomorrow, the Feather Dragon comes out of her shell. Xena makes her appearance over in Women's World, so do head over. Grab your spot in those apartments. I reckon they're going to sell pretty damn fast if any are left at all. So get ready for that. That will be tomorrow afternoon in approximately 24 hours from now. NASA have also been obliging us with lots of events this week. They've got 3 or 4 different missions. They've got the Progress 91 supply ship heading off to the ISS, launching and docking. I think launches this evening and docks at the weekend. There is the Spherex mission, which is a special mission to examine the sun's atmosphere with a little ride along satellite as well. There's a news conference tonight, and that launches on Saturday early morning, so you can watch the live launch. The Firefly mission is landing on the moon on Sunday morning. All of these live events will be streamed in the NASA cinema. In order to get there, head to the cinema foyer from Grand Central, or check the events list, so you can sit back and watch these wonderful experiences in an immersive atmosphere. And as usual, all the events are listed on our little events reel shown in the homeroom. Lots of galleries, lots of Mardi Gras things coming up, and there's a carnival, there's all sorts of things, so do check it out, support your fellow users, click those like buttons, and share the love. Oh no, I did forget. Sorry, something else. That's what I meant to get. Congratulations. There has been yet another quest achieved. Calibero 2 has achieved tier 3 of the AI quest, which means that you will get to pick a plot as a bonus prize and also select which egg to progress to the next level. So we actually currently have a situation now, out of the 11 eggs, about I think 5 of them are fully hatched dragons. The others are still just in their little old laid stage. They haven't even been cracked yet. So I think we've got 2 winners who haven't yet nominated their egg. As a reminder, if you complete a quest, you can nominate any egg on the board to move to the next stage. So let's get a push and get 11 dragons out and visible for everyone to see. Information over in the Dragon Quest Info Centre, which is in the Cookie Monster region near to the Wind Egg.
My God, you're so organised.
I know people love me and hate me for it. So yeah, I think that pretty much wraps it up today.
And the only thing, I think we don't have much more to say, but apart from the fact that if you haven't seen the wind egg, which I don't think anybody has apart from the feather egg, was it the feather egg?
There's two. They both exist.
Yeah. Which one's the one today? I forget. Like
tomorrow the feather egg.
Feather, thank you. If you haven't seen the feather egg, it is quite awesome, isn't it, from underneath?
It is. Yeah, so as and when it hatches tomorrow, look up.
Look up.
That's all I will say on that.
Cool.
Okay. I think that draws to a
Okay.
close, slightly shorter this week. But hopefully you've enjoyed our company, our chat, our chit, and our wonderful insights into the world of developing the Multiverse app here at Multiverse and FTL Towers. I'm not sure I'm going to kind of like flight mode. I'm Wendy signing off. This has been Sand. Nice to see you.
With the
To
dogs
see you
alive.
nice. Over and out.
Bye.
The Offcast, hugging you into the future, where verse meets meta, where meta meets verse, where gamers meet devs, where devs meet game. Your direct access to the future right here, right now. Where verse meets meta, where meta meets verse, where gamers meet devs, where devs meet game. Your direct access to the future right here, right